This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3, but really, it's Generals Evolution, so we are here for some Generals action inside of Red Alert 3. Of course, a big thanks to Gunship Mark II and sgorOO, as well as everyone else who worked on this mod to make it possible. I think they're still planning on having version 0.3 out before the end of the year, but we shall see. Meanwhile, we are here on the map Defcon 6 for a 2v2v2. So kicking it off in the north as the Red China, our first player, this is Nuour. I don't know if that's actually how you're supposed to pronounce their name, but it seems like the best way to go for me. Their ally in this three-team game, this is falak? Yeah, F-A-L-A-K, so falak? May not be how that's supposed to be pronounced, but as the other team, this is sgorOO, playing as that cyan GLA, and as his ally, as the purple GLA, this is Cloud. So it is a double China, double GLA team. And then in the south, rounding out our third team, this is Chris, playing as the orange USA, loading up his first Rock V because he knows how to play the game. As the pink China, rounding out our sixth player, this is Xouth. Xouth and Chris making up our third team, also being a split China-USA team, as opposed to the other factions, the other two teams, which are, well, Xouth's Gat Tank got jumped on real quick, as opposed to the other teams, which are unified in their faction choice. And sgorOO going to be doing a little bit of harassment here. His technical already moving out, so this game not really taking any time to get up and running. They are just off to the races right from the start. Supply trucks getting harassed. Even a quad cannon showing up, and oh my gosh, I did not realize that that building under construction was actually a tunnel network coming in for sgorOO. So this is a big kill early on, and this could cause some real problems if it is not shut down. sgorOO already changed. Oh, he actually got the sell-off. He got the forced sell-off, the capture and the sell of that supply center. So this is going terribly right from the get-go for falak. And what can you say? Things just sometimes go a little awry, and there's nothing you can do about it. Actually, Gatling Cannon going to be coming up, going to be trying to make amends with the danger coming in, but his command post gets captured, his buildings are getting shut down, and right from the get-go, I mean, this could even just be sold off or kept, but sgorOO is going to have essentially two bases of income. He's actually captured a big chunk of this base already. The War Factory is his, the barracks is, I think, the only production structure left for... no, he's got a listening outpost over there, so no, he is pretty much done. He's got these two oil derricks, and that is all he's really got to his name. The tunnel may eventually be shut down, but apparently Gats do not do good DPS versus other buildings, so that is something to keep in mind. Cloud comes through the middle of the map with a couple of technicals, but they get absolutely crushed and destroyed by the forces of Chris, which the units look a bit yellow. It looks like he did go for laser, the laser general, so he's got himself some laser crusaders. We saw good numbers of those in the last Gen Evo game that I checked out. One power plant remains for Nuour. falak has been defeated, and Nuour managed to get a Battlemaster into his opponent's base, his old ally's base, and this does not bode well for Nuour. He's going to be attacked on two sides. It looks like Xouth and sgorOO going to be potentially putting pressure on him, and I don't know if there's going to be anything he can do about it. He can hole up in his base and just hope that everyone fights against each other. Meanwhile, Technical's going to be defending against these laser crusaders, but honestly, I don't know that this is enough defense. He's going to need something else here to shut Chris down, to stop Chris from walking all over him. Otherwise, Cloud, who we have seen perform, I think, pretty well in some other matches, we might see him get eliminated quite quickly. Mine drop going to be coming in here. It's going to be getting pushed away. And this may have bought enough time for the tunnel network to get up, the rocket squads to get out, and this may just be enough DPS as a couple of laser Comanches come in to try and even things out, but they're up against RPG troopers, which is maybe not the best thing for Chris. And nope, Nuour has been defeated, so he gets cleaned up. One team already gone, and that makes this a 2v2, but on a 6-player map. So the resources, the eco, for 6 players, but only split between the 4. Chris takes the middle of the map first. He and Xouth are going to be looking to take this center area and make it their own. But also, of course, they do have the opportunity to take this empty base of Nuour, and sgorOO looks like he was moving in there years ago with how quickly he took over the original base of falak. And that will do it for that team. They are just completely gone, and everything that was their footsteps have literally been shoveled off the path. They are just completely erased from the history books. And in about a minute, you won't even be able to tell that someone is missing from their homes. And we look like we have stabilized. It looks like we are settling in for a pretty well-established 2v2 with some big swings coming in either direction. So grab your popcorn, pour yourself a tea or a coffee, and I think this one is going to take a while based on these players and the fact that we have got the setup that we do. This is going to be a split map kind of look, I think. Chris owning the middle of the map is still going to potentially have trouble. We've seen on this map these ramps into the base can be quite deadly. Once you get into that choke point, you can be quite problematic to break up the ramp. And some players really do rely on air units or super weapons to break into their opponent's base from that position. Laser Comanche's taking a couple of shots at the buggies. Great move here by Chris. He recognizes and respects the power of buggies. The hit and run of the buggy can be a powerful thing to destroy your army if you are not prepared for it. Chris knows what's up. He's got the Comanches standing by. He's ready to rush in and punish those buggies. Well, not in this particular moment, but moments ago he was indeed ready. Repair drones coming in. Comanches are here. They get one buggy, and then they're going to get chased away, and that's good enough for Chris. On the north side, sgorOO with a big group. Couple of GATs mixed in here, but it's mostly Scorpion tanks. Couple of quads, couple of GATs. That GLA-China mix might be tough to stop. We'll see what sgorOO is actually able to do with it. Mostly infantry here. This might just be overwhelmed. This is a lot of Scorpion tanks, but the Overlord is standing strong for the first wave of the attack. They've broken through just as a second Overlord comes in, and artillery misses pretty much entirely. sgorOO pushing forward, but this is an exterior base for Xouth. And actually, no, this second Overlord never got taken out, so he's just popping out shots like there's no tomorrow, and he's going to be able to clean up these Scorpion tanks without really any trouble. He lost the war factor, ends up losing both of the Overlords, but I think the defense there is totally worth it for Xouth, as he was able to mostly maintain control of this area. Second wave coming in, as Xouth has now established a nuclear missile silo on the field. So he's got that timer ticking down. He's got that clock working in the background for him. Oil derricks ended up getting deleted, I think, when the players left the game. So that extra bit of income will be missing from the match. Chris continues to pretty much have solo control of the middle of the map. Quads leading the charge. They're going to be able to clear some of these Comanches out of the sky before the tanks show up, and now the tanks going to be able to push away this ground army, at least until the rocket squads get there. There should be enough tunnel defenders here to push away so few tanks. Laser Comanches pushing in, but the quads are going to get some extra shots on them. Buggies showing up to take the long-range shots against the tanks, and this is overwhelming forces. Reinforcements now coming in. A couple of sentry drones step up to the front line, and it's going to be quickly dealt with by Cloud. Cloud may actually get caught by the one-click, the support power, as the Warthogs come in and clear up a couple more quads, and that may make the defense tenable here for Chris, as he's got more reinforcements. Actually, it's just Comanches, so that may not be too many reinforcements that he can rely on. Cloud, if he can clear out the center of the map, will put a big damper on the economy and the production of Chris. Chris should still have enough back home to bounce back for 1 or 2 waves. But if he keeps feeding units into the rockets, then he may have nothing when these units turn around. Laser turrets standing against this attack as the Comanches come back in to try and clean up the forces on the ground, and it worked while the units on the ground were attacking the stuff on the ground. The Laser Comanches mostly helped clean up the army. Laser tanks going to be getting pushed back, but where's the second wave from Cloud? He's a little bit disorganized as it's a little bit spread thin. Comes in with the buggies. He's going to be able to clean up 1 tank in 1 volley. Get a good chunk off of a second tank, but the Laser Comanches, oh my gosh! They annihilate those buggies so much faster. 2 Laser Comanches wipe out 5 of those buggies. Real glass cannon kind of action coming out there for Cloud. I mean, doing that damage from a distance, but they just get wiped clean so quickly by those Laser Comanches. More Comanches, more laser tanks. Chris has been able to maintain some kind of control in the middle of the map. I think he lost some of his supply centers, but he's still got 2 of them working for him, a 3rd one over there as well. So those laser turrets really helping him to hold that area, even if he did take some damage and get pushed back a little bit. Overlord's coming down the hill. sgorOO has pretty good numbers, and he's got reinforcements close by as well. So the production is close for both players. Overlord tanks on the retreat. One of them almost gets cleaned up, but it does survive, just barely. We're in that stage of the game where everyone is pretty well established economy-wise, and working around, working flanks and counterattacks is a little bit clunky. It's sometimes difficult to do. Laser Comanches coming in. Not a lot of anti-air here for sgorOO, so the Laser Comanches will be able to just clean things up. Overlord tanks getting pushed back. This is a good win for Xouth. Some of the units getting split up on this terrain. Again, a nice little win there for Xouth. Laser tanks coming back around. Quads in the south going to be trying to make a stand. I think this is too many tanks, though. The quads now turning their attention to the Laser Comanches, able to push them back for a moment, but the tanks continue to close in. These Laser Crusaders really don't trade very well against the quads. I thought the quads would get eaten up a little bit more quickly, but those Laser Crusaders honestly take a lot of damage from this many quads when they're all grouped up like that. And the rear armor, I think, also playing a role in these engagements. Chris losing a lot to that rear armor. Once again, feeding a couple of individual units, trying to fight on a couple of fronts with the Laser Comanches. Xouth, on the other hand, in the north, has cleaned up that little pocket expansion from sgorOO. No in-between base expansion for you right now as Cloud turns towards the ramp into Chris's base. He's going to try and make headway against the main base of Chris, just as Xouth continues to try and push into the expansion of sgorOO. Getting up this hill can sometimes be the hardest part as a cluster mine or an EMP comes in, drops right on top of sgorOO's potential reinforcements, and this is where having that artillery to pound them as they are rising this hill would be fantastic. 25 seconds on the nuke. Xouth may be able to follow this attack up with a nuke, but will he be able to actually break sgorOO's main base? sgorOO's reinforcements swinging around the south side of this army, going to be potentially surrounding and destroying. Inferno cannons moving forward as there's a bit of a fire sale to clear the ground as we get down to single digits and we wind down to 0 for Xouth's nuke. sgorOO pushing forward. Cloud's army evaporates as the nuke impacts inside of Chris's build radius, cleaning up much of the army. Only buggies left, and Laser Comanches will be able to clean them up. That laser mode does so much damage. Overlord tank standing strong. The army of Xouth has been weakened, but it made the kill. It survived long enough to clean up sgorOO's exterior base, and now sgorOO just has his main base, which is where he put a lot of his infrastructure. Low on power, needs to get his Scud Storm back up and running, and always a tough sacrifice when you have to nuke your ally to clear out your enemy's army. Quad cannons continuing to push up. Nuclear missile slow is low power mode for sgorOO once again. He's still sitting there with those 2 super weapons, unable to count down any further. In fact, Cloud's Scud Storm is about to pass sgorOO's in the timing. So now Cloud is actually going to get to use his Scud Storm before sgorOO. Laser Comanches from the north, and this little army gets pushed back. Xouth, being the savior of Chris, more than once drops a war factory inside of Chris's base so he can get those immediate reinforcements. But Xouth really doing a lot in this game. Anthrax Bomb coming in, coating this area in blue, and I think this might be too much DPS coming in from sgorOO and Cloud, as he is going to close in on this army. Double Vet and fully heroic Overlord tanks are tough, but they are not invincible as they clean up so many buggies, but eventually they go down. They take a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, but eventually they get cleaned up. Chris could just take this opportunity to try and take the middle of the map. Cloud, I think, now in low power mode, as he is not able to keep his own Scud Storm online, taking a bit too much damage in that attack, as Xouth turns his attention to the south of the map, helping out Chris in this quadrant of Defcon 6. Cloud and sgorOO getting dangerously close to having all of their super weapons linked up in timing, but this low power mode is really putting a damper on things and causing some problems for Cloud. We'll see if they're able to utilize their super weapons effectively, separate from each other. Chris may want to go ahead and get a particle cannon out just so he's always got that offensive option, but I imagine he's a little bit strapped for cash with the amount of infrastructure and army he's been trying to rebuild over the course of this game. I mean, Laser Comanches ain't free. Little scuffle in between the bases. Double defense as both teams are stacking this south section of the map with as many units as they possibly can. A little bit of harassment in the middle of the map, ore collectors, or resource collectors, rather, as individual rebels are going to be getting called down. This is a juicy spot for a Scud Storm for sure, although they may be trying to bait a Scud Storm. Xouth expanding in the north. He's going to take a big section of the map. One click comes in. 17 seconds on the second Scud Storm. Internet Center almost under threat, but not, as all of these units retreat. sgorOO going to be able to push Xouth back, and he may be able to jump on this army. Reinforcements may make this fight swing back into Xouth's favor, as those Scorpion tanks just march to their doom and do little else. 22 seconds on the nuke for sgorOO, and then it will be 3 super weapons under the control of our purple and cyan team. Scud Storm coming in, and he's cleaning out Chris's base. Surely a second volley would do enough to nearly knock Chris out of this game. Not sure where that impacted. Sneak attack for sgorOO won't go very far, or won't go very much further. Oh, he's actually managed to keep the sneak attack tunnel around, so he has additional reinforcements coming in. He's going to be able to shut down this little section. Might get carpet bombed as he pops out a couple of more tanks. Carpet bomb comes in, cleans up the tunnel, cleans up the quad cannons and the Scorpion as well. But enough reinforcements emerged for sgorOO that he's able to, well, maybe he won't take down that war factory. It gets close as the laser Comanches come in to help clean up those forces. Cloud and sgorOO striking out against Xouth and Chris to try and find some kind of damage in the heart of their bases. Supply stashes and internet centers getting cleaned up, but the top of the hill being held strong by sgorOO. He's managed to hold on to it for the current moment. Another sneak attack coming in, but Chris will secure his own base at the cost of the oil derricks. He will no longer have that extra income. Another Comanche goes down, but the remainder of his air force does survive. Additional power plant coming up. Chris never able to establish that particle cannon, but 15 seconds on the clock for Xouth's nuke. Quad cannons coming in. Enough laser tanks to potentially just stop them at the top of the hill. Quad cannons from sgorOO in the middle of the map. Low power mode for Chris. This may be the ideal moment to jump on this base and try and go for the kill. He can shut down Chris's economy in the middle of the map, but the laser Comanches with the Overlord tanks to tank for them on the ground, going to be able to jump on this army, and the quads don't retarget. They just leave it to the RPG troopers, which do a decent job of cleaning up most of the Comanches, but not all, as 4 of them survive the night. Another nuke comes in. Xouth and Chris getting close to being broken minutes ago by sgorOO and Cloud, but they still stand strong. They've managed to weather one storm from our double GLA team on the right side of the map. Although for a time it was a GLA China team. Is that a double anthrax bomb coming in here? Causing some problems for the tanks as they rush into the RPG troopers. Between the anthrax and the RPGs, not a lot of choices left for Chris's forces. Another carpet bomb coming in, nearly cleans up the arms dealer, but doesn't quite get it. A couple of buggies cycling out to the south side of this engagement, trying to find an opening and get some extra shots against those Crusader tanks. Warthogs coming in. Can they finally finish the war? The war factory goes down, and that means the production is slowed just a little bit, but like all good GLA players, Cloud has 1,000 war factories spread out around the map. Another sneak attack tunnel coming in on the left side of the map. A couple of quads, couple of buggies popping on out. More reinforcements, only one bunker here to do with it. And are they going for the nuke after this? It looks like that's going to be the target. A little over, well, maybe an average of 1.5 minutes left on the clock for Chris, or for sgorOO and Cloud's superweapons. Making a rush for the Scud Storm is Xouth. He manages to get the Scud Storm, but really if he can get the nuclear missile silo, that's perhaps the thing that can't be rebuilt. No, actually, sgorOO has managed to keep around enough Chinese infrastructure that he's going to be able to hold on to that technology. Everything gets cleaned up here on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Xouth's attack, I think, is on its last legs as the reinforcements, if they can ever get there. The Sim City is causing some real problems for these Overlord reinforcements from sgorOO. Eventually, the reinforcements will get to this section of the map. Eventually, they will clean up the forces of Xouth. But this has bought a lot of time for Xouth. Again, he's just been able to expand to these other bases, take them, take their economy, and use that to fuel his own army. Xouth still trying to break up this ramp into the base of Cloud. Scud Storm is ready to go. But will he use it on the army, or will he launch it against the base of Xouth or Chris? Cloud is going to lose his black markets. He doesn't have a lot of reinforcements coming in here, and the Scud Storm lands on the Overlord tanks. They try to outrun the area of effect Overlord tanks barely surviving. Repair coming in as Xouth's tanks get a little extra HP just in time, trying to surround these bunkers and clean up these tunnel defenders as they barely manage to kill off that tunnel defender way into the red. Their HP bars almost gone. Carpet bombing comes in, and the nuclear missile silo has all but been destroyed as it is so close to going down. But the sneak tunnel for the defense! sgorOO comes in with Overlord tanks coming out of a GLA tunnel. Somehow, some way, he manages to help out Cloud. And, well, really himself, as Cloud has been defeated, and sgorOO takes over everything. Carpet bombing coming in, and the Comanches may sacrifice themselves, but they will get that nuclear missile silo. A beautiful kill there by Chris. Chris and Xouth owning the map. That laser mode not enough to clean up the quad cannons as both Comanches go down. Chris has been beaten to within an inch of his life. He's got a little bit of income still coming in from the middle of the map. He isn't even harvesting anything from here. Both of these have been depleted, and since he lost those oil derricks long ago, his secondary economy, I don't think, ever really got established. Chris has been hurting in the income department for a long time. Laser Comanches really being his main way to contribute to this match. But now Xouth is the only one with a super weapon. He's got the most map area, but he still is going to have to be fighting uphill to get inside of sgorOO's base. And sgorOO has those sneak attack tunnels that he can activate with a mixture of Chinese and GLA forces to attack various places. And, of course, the Rebel ambush as well, which apparently just sniped that building over there and is going to get crushed by that Overlord tank. Overlord's coming for sgorOO. He gets the defend there. And the Laser Comanche's able to skate away, just kiting away from the anti-air of sgorOO. A 2v1 with sgorOO in the driver's seat. He's pushing out through the middle of the map. He's got cloaked Overlord tanks, which I'm guessing is a GLA support power that isn't normally active there on Chinese forces. Once again, Xouth now pushing into the main base. He's made it up the hill. Undefended is this left side of sgorOO's main base. His original base as he took over the Blue China base, and he took over Cloud's base as well. Through the middle of the map, sgorOO is looking for an angle, looking for an opportunity as these Overlord tanks are trying to cause some havoc amongst his opponents, but I think it is going to be relatively outmatched. It is not going to match the amount of damage that he is taking back home. Carpet bombing coming in once again. Although the plane gets taken out, the carpet bombing starts, but I think it only goes about half or maybe 3/4 of the way. Gatling tank comes in, gets cleaned up, and the supply stash is going to be targeted next. The oil derricks going to be left alive for the current moment as sgorOO deploys another secret tunnel. He's got himself a sneak attack deployed, and the Comanche's having to step away. Once again, just a single laser Crusader on the ground, just not much there in the defense from Chris. It's pretty much all ground-based defense for Xouth. Carpet bombing coming in, cluster mine as well as I think, or that was an EMP as that locks down all of the tanks from both sides. The Overlord's still pushing. They're going to get a command center. The Anthrax bomb perhaps causing some problems, but it's going to be Overlord tanks versus Overlord tanks. The numbers are equal, but the experience and the actual fire rate is not, as one of sgorOO's Overlord tanks gets caught completely out of the fray and is unable to engage in this defense, just now heading to the front line. And it looks like sgorOO's defense will stand. Xouth's attack falls once again. Chris barely holding on with his laser Comanches. sgorOO, he's pretty much fired his last round as sgorOO has been defeated. An action-packed match pretty much from the jump as sgorOO finally taps out. Xouth and Chris able to take that one in the end. Two very early exits from falak and Nuour But the rest of these guys fighting out a pretty back-and-forth slugfest. Ton of super weapons coming into play there, and sgorOO almost just taking it the whole way with his early kill of the double China team. He and Xouth kind of teaming up in an unholy alliance with that one as they joined forces somewhat accidentally to knock out that double China team. Anyways, that will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, if you want to download General's Evolution, you need a copy of Red Alert 3, but as always, the download links can be found in the description. I don't know why I bother saying that. People always ask. It's already there before you even ask. Big thanks to the folks who developed this mod for putting in all of this time and effort into it. That'll do it for this game, for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert, signing out.